The audience will never know. And if you feel too anxious to speak,
Unless you're too nervous. I've seen that before, haven't you guys? They just keep drinking and drinking and drinking. Hi, guys! Welcome back to Houseless Reactions, where we might be houseless, but we're not hopeless. We're always here to have a good time. The video we're going to be checking out comes from Brightside. The video is called 19 Simple Psychological Tricks That Actually Work.
19 simple psychological tricks that actually work.
Let's see if they work.
1. Never start your request with the words, "Could you?" It can cause the other person to subconsciously assume that this is a theoretical question.
That's true. Sometimes when I feel like you're going to ask me a question, I just kind of don't want to hear you. I'm not going to lie.
But it's better to rephrase your request to, "Please call the neighbors," if you want to be sure that it'll be fulfilled.
So it's basically you turn it into a demand.
Forehead during the conversation. Most people say it makes them feel like they're under scrutiny, which, of course, doesn't exactly make a person relaxed.
Do you guys look at someone's forehead? You're supposed to look at their eyes when you talk to them.
3. If someone you're talking to is trying to avoid answering a question, just make a pause in the conversation while still keeping eye contact.
That's true. You just stare someone in the eyes. It makes them uncomfortable. If you don't want to hear them, stare them down. Just keep looking in their eyes, just like I'm doing right now. Just keep staring.
4. Let's say you've started a new job or school. If you want someone in the office or class to like you, just ask them to explain something to you. It doesn't matter if you know the answer or not. This will improve the other person's overall attitude towards you.
Is it that easy? Because I fail at women all the time.
Try to nod subtly as you make your request. This trick is often used by restaurant employees to make guests buy more food, and it's pretty effective.
You gotta make them tips, man. It's all about the percentages.
Let's say they're in the middle of a serious phone conversation. You can extend your hand to them and get anything they're holding at the moment. They might not even remember later on.
I've actually seen this work. A friend actually did this when we were kids growing up. Anytime his dad got on the phone, that's when he went to go get the stuff he wanted. It was crazy.
Casually say how they probably wouldn't even be able to do it. Most people will try really hard to prove someone wrong when it comes to doubting their capabilities.
You better not doubt me because I'm coming through.
You'll establish a connection with the person, so they probably won't have the heart to turn you down afterwards.
That's true. If you have a connection with me, I'm far more likely to give in to your side.
Start nodding just a little bit during a conversation. Interestingly enough, this will make the person you're talking to more attentive to your words, and they won't even realize why.
It does work because there are times where I just don't have anything to say and I nod my head, and the other person just seems to generally like that.
This method can work like magic with a high price or a low salary. 10. As soon as your alarm clock goes off, sit up, make 2 fists, and yell, "Yeah!" as if you're a soccer player who's just scored a goal.
Yeah! I'm definitely not doing that when I wake up. I set like 8, 9, 10 snoozes, and I still can't get up.
For example, you say "green rabbit" and turn the iron off, or "oppressive crab" and lock the door. The next time you start doubting whether or not you did something, you'll remember saying this weird phrase.
I say, "This sucks," every time I gotta clean. I don't really like cleaning that much.
There's nothing more irritating than being ignored. However, if you're trying to avoid an argument with your friend or partner, try to put yourself in their shoes.
You should always try to put yourself in someone else's shoes. You know, you gotta understand where they're coming from. How are you gonna really understand the argument itself if you can't understand both sides?
Don't give them tasks by saying, "Do this." It's better to say, "Start with this." Psychologically, it'll seem like there's less work because, according to this phrase, they should start with something small.
Is that how people make the most progress? For me, I like to start with the hardest thing because after you finish the hardest thing, everything else is just downhill.
Feel like the Sahara Desert. Plus, you can take a pause to sip some water in order to remember a part of your speech that slipped your mind. The audience will never know. And if you feel too anxious to speak,
Unless you're too nervous. I've seen that before, haven't you guys? They just keep drinking and drinking and drinking, and it's because they don't know what to say next.
15. If someone is staring at you in the subway, happens all too often, right? Just look at their shoes. Don't give up. Keep gazing. It'll drive them crazy.
I would just think you're not into me, and I would try to stare somewhere else. Or I wouldn't try to stare at all because that's rude.
But you don't want to sound too accusing. Change the way you construct your sentences. For example, instead of saying, "You didn't close the window before you left," you can say, "The window was left open all night." They'll learn from their mistake.
That works. You're just like, the window was left open all night. Do you remember who did this?
I know it sounds like nonsense, but it does work 100% if you say it with meaning.
I seriously doubt that works. If I sleep for 2 hours, I'm gonna be tired. I could tell myself I'm not tired over and over and over. I could say that I've slept. I'm still gonna be tired.
People are better at remembering what happened at the beginning and end of the day. As for anything that went on in between, it gets blurry. This is a great tip when it comes to job interviews.
You guys always remember the beginning and end of the day, but don't remember part of the middle?
Do you know any other effective tricks that can help you get what you want? Share your experience in the comments.
Yes, guys, give me some tricks to get me what I want.
And click subscribe to stay on the bright side of life.
All right, guys. So that was 19 simple psychological tricks that actually work. I think there's some really good ones in there, to tell you the truth. I mean, I know on this channel I like to poke fun and make jokes, but some of that stuff was really true and really does apply to life. So, I mean, I've always liked the bright side. They always have good tips, educational videos. I definitely recommend checking them out. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me today on Houseless Reactions, where we may be houseless, but we're not hopeless. We had a good time today. If you had a good time, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe to the channel to get new videos every single day. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys!